Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel. We'll call this one Things Dave Learned Today. I think one thing I learned today is even though it's a snowstorm, it's still daylight, using the 400 film may not have been the best idea of all. Things Dave learned today, number 2. Actually, oh boy, this is really fighting back here. Using the circular polarizer because you think it's going to help you cut through the snowstorm during a snowstorm, along with the 400, probably isn't the best of ideas neither. So, number 2. Number 3, if I would have stayed home for another hour and a half, I would have beautiful lighting with no snow and no wind and actually 5 degrees warmer. So that's the way it happens in photography. I'm going to show you the results anyways. With the Canon AE-1, what has happened is I went out, as you've seen in an earlier short video I shared, with the Canon AE-1 that was donated by Mr. Alan McLaughlin, former mayor of the Pas Manitoba. I think that the Delta 400 for this session was not a good idea, and I definitely probably would have been better off with the 200 or a 250, maybe the 250 Cinestill BB XX or even the Delta 100. I just don't think the 400 was a good choice. There's some pretty good ones where I was just doing some houses and some trees and stuff. But once I got into doing portraits of people with a very bright background, it just that I don't think that film could handle it very well. The polarizer may have had something to do with it, but not totally. It was just that film today, the way things were, I just don't think that film handled that very well because the camera seemed to work very well. The obviously the exposure meter in this camera is very good, as you'll see some of them. It did a good job, but I don't know. I don't know about this Delta 400. I'm not going to blame it on the film because it's the first time that I've used the film. I don't think this would have been a fair trial for that film. The camera is awesome. And for anybody that wanted to know, I really didn't do too much of an introduction here, but the Canon AE-1 was released, I think, in 1974 or 1976, one of the 2 years, but it became the #1 selling SLR in history, I think, with 5.7 million in sales. And I believe it went off the market in 1984. It was the big piece of history with this. There's a whole long story, and I'm going to go into that in another video when it's set up on the table and I'm showing you the whole camera. But the basic history is the very first SLR that had a CPU in it that ran an auto system through the lens, auto exposure. It had exposure in the exposure meter. It takes a battery, which you can still get, and this camera in auto is a very good camera. So the reason why they built this camera is they did make it out of plastic, but it feels like metal. You wouldn't know unless someone told you that this was plastic. It was much lighter. They cut costs. They had to because of the oil embargo in '74 or whatever, Japan, it was hit too. So Canon did a very wise thing by speeding up their what do they call that, factory line speeding up that assembly line by getting rid of a lot of parts and putting in a more electronic system. It has a electromagnetic focal plane and cloth shutter. It's a very good camera. So the results you're seeing today are not this camera's fault. I can tell you right now, just by shooting this camera and seeing some of the results, I know that this camera is a very good camera. So what the idea behind them putting this camera out was for the masses that were getting tired of just the little point and shoot rangefinder cameras, and that they wanted to step up into a camera with interchangeable lenses with options and stuff like that. So they targeted that market of the photographers that were more intermediate, leaning into professionals, and a lot of professionals use these cameras as well. So don't get that confused. This is so yeah, 5.7 million units sold. Very, very important, very important piece of photography history here. It's just an amazing camera to work with. It's the very first time I've ever shot one, a Canon, and especially this AE-1. It's definitely not going anywhere. It's staying in the it's staying with the channel for sure, unless Mr. McLaughlin wants it back. And that's it. It was a 1.8 lens that came with it. Like I said, I'll go in depth with these cameras after I get a table set up where I could show everybody taking the lenses off the mirrors like a lot of guys do. I've got requests for that, so I need to do that. So here's the results. Don't let me hold you up too long. Very stormy day, as you've seen in the video just before this one. And you'll see in the pictures, it was almost whiteout conditions sometimes. So don't judge anything. And I won't be trying this polarizer thing anymore, maybe until it's summertime and we're around water. That wasn't a very intelligent thing to do anyways on the first time out. I don't know what I was thinking, but definitely wasn't. Definitely, you know, we all make these mistakes. I make the mistakes, and I'm going to show you the mistakes I make because this is an honest channel. So here we go. Enjoy the photos. I hope you have an awesome day. See you next time.